Now the next step in our configuration process is to establish an audit store. So that's what we're going to do next. I'm going to go ahead and open up the Audit Manager. As you can see here, I'm going to expand the default installation, which we configured earlier. Now, as you can see here, we have a number of different options. We have audited systems, collectors, management servers, and audit stores, in addition to audit roles. The area that we're going to work with is going to be the audit stores. So I'm going to go ahead and expand the audit stores, and we're going to add a new store. We'll have to give it a name. We're going to keep this as the default for now. Obviously, in your environment, your organization, you may have different display names based on your naming conventions and specific regional practices. But for this demonstration, this will be fine. We'll go ahead and click Next. We'll now need to determine the type of systems that are going to be served by this audit store. Now, in this particular demonstration, we're going to use both Windows and Unix types in this audit configuration. So we're going to go ahead and leave the default. You can set up audit stores that are specifically for Windows or specifically for Unix. We'll go ahead and click Next. We'll now need to determine the site or subnet for this audit store. So I'm going to go ahead and click Add Site, and I'm going to select the default. And once again, you can specify a remote site. But for this demonstration, we're going to go ahead and use the default. I'll go ahead and click OK. It's been added, and I can go ahead and click Next. We'll now need to review and confirm the options that we've configured, and we'll go ahead and click Next. And it'll go through the process of creating the audit store, and then we'll receive this message indicating that it's been completed. Now that the audit store is in place, we need to go ahead and add the audit store database to it. So since these two tasks are combined related to the audit store, I'm going to go ahead and launch the Add Store Database wizard. So I'm going to leave this checked, and I'm going to click Finish. And as you can see here, we do need to give it a name. This is going to be for the audit store based on its name and a particular date. You can, of course, customize this based on your own organizational practices. We'll go ahead and click Next. I'm going to just leave the default. We'll now need to determine the audit store database. As you can see here, it's pulled the default based on the audit and monitoring configuration that we did earlier. I'm going to go ahead and leave this intact. We can specify if this is an Amazon RDS SQL server. In this particular instance, it is not, so we'll leave this unchecked. And we'll click Next. We'll now need to choose the new database name. In this case, we're going to leave the defaults once again. And we can choose whether or not this is an active or an attached database. Since this is our first database, it will be set to active by default. So we'll go ahead and click Next. Once again, we'll need the SQL login account for the stored procedures. We're going to leave this as the default as the NT Authority system account, and we'll click Next. And then we'll review and confirm the options, and it'll configure the audit store database and finalize the audit store configuration. And as you can see, we've completed the audit store database wizard, and this completes the audit store configuration.